What is good, y'all? What's good? Welcome to episode 8 of the Dad Beats podcast. Once again, Dad Beats, where we talk about the joys and challenges of being a creative entrepreneur and producer, musician, creative type. So thanks for everybody for tuning in. I got the brother King O Caesar here, my illustrious co-host. What's good, man?
What's going, everybody? You know what I'm saying? I said that a little wrong and it didn't come out the way I wanted it to. But welcome to the podcast, man. I hope everybody's having a great day.
We're just getting the energy right today, man. It's been it's been an interesting week for me for sure, as far as like adversity and challenges, man. So I appreciate everybody who's tuning in, everybody who's going through their own thing this week, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to encourage each other to keep pushing, man. Always just like, yo, you bossed up, bro. You got to make it happen. So
that's right, man. You got to boss up and you got to get through, the adversity, even when things ain't going good, because that's how you push through them barriers,
Big facts, man. Thanks to everybody for tuning in so far. Let's check out the chat, man. We're going to really rely on y'all a lot for this this episode, man. We want y'all to chip in and kind of contribute, you know what I'm saying, as far as to the topics and what we're going to be talking about today is really setting our producer goals, setting our goals as creators. That's not a fart, by the way. That's my chair. Hold up. Let me see if I can do it again. Yo, mad people accuse me of farting in my last.
It did sound suspect.
It did, yeah. Yeah, I got to put some WD-40 on this joint. But I digress. But now, we were going to definitely talk about, producer goals and really just how to lock in on what we're really trying to achieve as producers, as music creators, and just as creative people in general. I think, the interesting thing about this YouTube space is it allows you to use other creative parts of your, your mind and your thoughts. So, photography, videography is something that I've been doing for a while, and YouTube is kind of like a way for me to incorporate that. So I do want to talk about those type of things as well. But definitely, we're looking to the chat for y'all to chip in on some of the things y'all are hoping to accomplish, and what some of your producer goals are, and maybe we can come up with some solutions together today. I have some branding experience and some different business building experience that I've kind of done over the past 20 years. King O Caesar as well, as far as putting together his channel, putting together just a lot of different projects. You've been doing recording and production for a while too.
I've been doing recording and producing for a while, even though I'm not like super mainstream with it, but I've done a lot of stuff. Got a lot of experience in that area. Also, what I'm saying, far as like, the creative space with my YouTube channel. Like a lot of people don't realize how much stuff goes into that. Like just putting all that stuff together and just the business of music and all that stuff. That's why having producer goals is important, because you got to get your stuff in line and stuff in order, and you have to have the information that you need, to actually strategically carry out what you're trying to do. So
absolutely. Now getting right to it, and in the chat, you guys watching, let us know what some of your goals are as a producer. What are you trying to, what are you aiming for? Is it, are you trying to get platinum plaques? Are you trying to get placements? Is it a money thing? Are you just looking to lock in and make, make money? Are you looking to do more of the sound design stuff? What are some of your goals, like as far as a producer? What are you hoping to accomplish? And start with you. Oh, like, have you thought about that? What are some of the goals that you have for yourself as a producer, and how are you working at attaining them?
Well, first, when I first started, like most of my goals was like everybody else's goals, is to try to like, get my songs out here, my beats, everybody be on my beats, and what I'm saying, I record the best people and have, all these placements and stuff. But like as I've grown and been going through trying to do that and everything, and then like working with a group, we had the whole group aspect of everything when I was doing. It's just a lot different when now that it's just me. So like I've been really focusing more on like the branding of myself, like branding my myself and the Kingo Caesar with the channel, and also just like the teaching. Like I enjoy the teaching and stuff. So I've been doing a lot of the teaching with the NPC and stuff, and I got a lot more stuff coming on the channel as far as
Hmm.
that. So I just been really working on that, and I'm probably gonna do like fall more into that as far as like the producer probably being like because that's pretty much what YouTube is, right? It's like a place where you can go and teach people and show like some of your stuff. So maybe later on I'll be doing like some more beats and music and stuff like that after
For like
after I
placements to
yeah
work with artists and stuff.
yeah after I get to a certain level, because I'm definitely trying to build the channel first and like get myself, what I'm saying, going that way. So
Mm, definitely. Yeah, I think that's definitely you sound like in that space where you're still trying things out. And I think we all are to a certain extent, like, kind of seeing what avenues we can take to kind of get our career to the next level. And just keep ourselves engaged and creative. Excuse me. Nelson in the chat said, I'm doing nothing, I'm depressed. I think I don't believe in music anymore. And yo, honestly, bro, I think that's something that never goes away. I think even the people that you think have it all together and have, have everything worked out, it's very rare that people really are completely happy with where they are in their career. Most people are always looking for kind of like the next step, like, um, just looking to kind of, it's about freedom, right? Like we're looking to kind of
yeah,
create the way we want to create and be appreciated for it. And that's a tough thing to do, you know what I'm saying? Like it's definitely something that I would think a minority of producers actually are accomplishing. So
yeah,
um I can definitely sympathize with you with the depression thing. You know what I'm saying? It's very easy as a creator to get in that space where you're depressed and you're not happy about, the way your creative endeavors are going. What
yeah,
I've done to kind of combat that, you know what I'm saying, and I'll get into my producer goals and how I'm in a better space than I've ever been in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm definitely I got challenges and I wouldn't say depression, but it's like I can get borderline, like I can get really close.
yeah,
Um, really where I'm at is I've kind of found like, oh, Caesar was talking about, I've found a way to channel my music goals, my music producer goals, take them off of working with other people. And because it
hmm,
used to be all about, I'm gonna make this beat for this type of artist, you know, um, I'm basically I'm gonna try to get all these, artists on my, on my beats, on my music, and that's gonna bring me my acclaim or my recognition. And that was for a long time. That was like I started making beats in like 2000, I mean 1997, and I was probably on that wave until maybe about 2008, something like that. So
2008, huh? Yeah,
yeah, like 11 years. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I was really going hard, like was trying to get placements. I was signing artists at one point. Um I pretty much I was relying on other people for my success. You know what I mean? And that's the challenge when you're working with artists and hoping to get artists on your beats and on the music that you compose. You're really relying on other people for your success, and that led to a lot of depression for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I was constantly disappointed. You know what I mean? It led to a lot of anger first, but then once the anger subsided, because I'd be mad at them first, right? It's like I bless an artist with like a whole album worth of beats, right? Like
yeah,
10, 12, 15 tracks. And then, they would just basically either kind of, they would record a whole project or they would kind of get iffy halfway between, halfway into it. I had artists who didn't sign contracts with me, once I had committed hundreds of hours to them, you know what I'm saying, as far as
yeah. I
producing them,
tell you,
recording them.
that stuff will take the life right out of you, man. because
Yeah.
that's the whole thing with me is like, with my group, it was great. Like we had stuff that happened where we split and we kind of went our separate ways. We still do stuff together once in a while, but it's like, when you, especially when you're working with other people and stuff like that, you just don't know who's serious, who's about it. You know what I'm saying? Like with the team aspect, especially when we broke up, it was just like the energy was gone, man. And then like you
Hmm.
don't know
Hmm.
who's for real, because I knew when I got in the studio with my boys and stuff like that, we was gonna make stuff happen. But then we had problems on the other end as far as like doing the actual business part of it and getting like stuff going that way. Cause that's what me and my boy LZ, shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? We would try to like get our music and our, our performances and like so we could perform at these local bars and clubs and stuff like, the stuff that you do
Hmm.
when you're starting out.
Yeah.
And it was just we was always running into like problems with things like that, with the group aspect. But then like when you're not doing the group aspect and you're working with people that you never worked with before, then
Hmm.
like like you said, you can give them like you can put in so much hours and then like not even get anything out of it, or people
Yeah.
don't even use the stuff. You like sitting here like, man, I just basically wasted a whole bunch of time, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
And I attribute that, I've been through that plenty of times myself. And looking back on it, I attribute it to um I attribute that to not having laser focus. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
Like being in that mindset where it's like, yo, I don't know what I want. I'm just trying to make something pop. You know what I mean? Like
yep,
that mindset of like, yo, kind of like you'll take anything. You know what I mean?
yep,
Like, yo, I'll take this, I'll take that. That's kind of like a recipe for failure. I've discovered. You know what I'm saying? When you're not really laser focused on what you want to achieve
mhm,
as a creative person, as a producer, you leave yourself open to take on all types of opportunities that really won't get you where you want to go. And this comes down to the goal part, right? You
yeah,
can't get anywhere without a roadmap. This is something that really dawned on me, really within the last five years or so, is seeing the end in mind. Like, what exactly do I want? And I realized about 5 years ago, I no longer wanted, like, I wasn't trying to get like platinum plaques, and I wasn't looking for like industry accolades. I literally just wanted to be in control of my creative future
yeah.
and not have to like not have to worry about it, not have to worry about coming out of pocket for everything. Like I literally just wanted a business that paid for itself, that made me some extra money as well, but gave me the creative freedom to make anything I wanted anytime and release it however I wanted it, or if I didn't want to release it.
Yeah.
So I took my power back in a way, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like I no longer was depending on other people to succeed. And because I changed my definition of what success was for me, you know what I'm saying? Um, everybody's not willing to do that. Some people really have a very specific definition of success. It's like, yo, on a platinum plaque, you know what I mean?
Mhm,
Or, whatever, a certain amount of sales, or
yeah.
um, you know what I'm saying? And then that's a little bit tougher. I think where I got was to the point where I just stopped relying on other people, and I just started focusing on what do I want for myself as a creative person.
And I was
And
gonna touch on that, but I'm glad you touching on it right now. And I might still touch on it, but continue. My bad.
yeah, no, it's definitely something that's it's interesting because it's still, those other opportunities still come around. Like by doing what I love doing, and locking in on what I love doing, I get opportunities thrown at me all the time to like, yo, you want to collab on this? You know what I'm saying? Yo, I got this artist looking for this. I turn it all down for the most part. I mean, there's a couple people that I really like, you know what I'm saying, that I've met, through this kind of like process of building my personal brand and my YouTube channel, that I am going to be collabing with a little more. But for the most part, it has nothing to do with artists. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
as far as me, I don't want to deal with artists anymore.
yeah,
And that just comes from so many years of abuse.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying, at the hands of artists, meaning like, and when I say abuse, it's not like they physically did anything to me. It's just more the lack of commitment. You know what I mean? I was that
Hmm.
person that always locked in really hard on projects, and then when it came down to everybody else to commit, or the artist to commit, or who I was working with, they would just weasel out of it, or they would take whatever we built and try to run to somebody else, and you know what I'm saying, and who might have a bigger situation, and try to take
Yeah.
it over there, you know what I'm saying, and kind of leave me behind. So I had enough of that, where it was like dependent on other people, you know what I mean? So um I say all that to say, for me, I can definitely empathize with that position, where it's like, y- your happiness is kind of depending on what someone else is doing, and it just, it's not a good way to live, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it definitely saps you, especially when the relationships don't work out.
Right.
Um, but go ahead. I think you had something to say about that.
No, it's just like just elaborating on what you were said. Like it's just important to like have the goals that you set for yourself. Because this is what happens a lot of times too. It's like you'll start working with artists and different people, and they'll want you to fit into their goals and not
Hmm.
your own.
Yeah.
Everything's got to be about them. I'm doing this, I'm popping like this, like come do this with me, versus you like actually working and doing stuff for yourself. Because first of all, you got to have fulfillment in the stuff that you do before you can even work with anybody, period. Because you gotta like I feel like as a creative, like a lot of people don't just do this, like and the people that do it for the wrong reasons end up burning out really quick anyway.
Hmm.
It's just
Hmm.
something that's here and then it's gone, where it's like it don't matter like what happens with me. I'm going to continue doing music whether I make money from it or not, because I just love it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's like when you got to get the fulfillment for yourself before you can like even work with other people. And you as a person know exactly where you want to go most of the time. And when you start working with other people and stuff, you like kind of like have to like move this path that's like not exactly how you want. So I think it's important to establish yourself first, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, before you even like really start working with other people like that. Because like I think that's what's better. I think it's going to be better for me even if I decide to work with artists and people in the future, because once I have my stuff set and going like where I'm not, it's like kind of, because it's never going to be completely on autopilot, but the goal is to get to a place to where like this stuff is like just happening, right? And it's,
Hmm.
it's flowing the way it's flowing.
You got a
Once,
routine.
yeah, once I can get to that, it's going to make it easier and make me want to. And then like at that point in my mind, I should have like a better understanding of how I'm going to work with people. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Versus people telling me how I'm going to work with people. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely.
You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
let's check the chat and see what everybody's going through with their
Yeah,
producer goals.
I make beats over here. He said, "What's up to you?" in my
I'll
chat.
tell him I said what's good.
Yep, Terrence, Share C2 up in here. He said the goal is to get my music into placements. He said the goal is to get my music into placements. What advice, resources, and networking do you recommend?
Yeah, placements are, I don't want to say it's tricky, because that's kind of like, clearly, you know what I mean, if it wasn't, everybody would
Yeah,
be on. But I think the key to placements, a lot of people think it's having the hottest beats or being the most talented person, and that's really not what it is. I mean,
it's
you can
not.
tell, you can listen and look at what's on the charts or what's popping right now, and everything out there isn't good, clearly.
Yeah,
um and there's definitely people you're more talented than, who have placements, who are in good position as far as the industry. A lot of that stuff, and this goes with pretty much any creative field. A lot of the stuff you see kind of like on a large platform, or a large stage, is through a production company. So it's not like most producers are just walking up, and you're not just walking up to like a platinum artist and pitching your record like, yo, check out these beats. That's very rare. That's not really going to happen.
yeah,
Most of the situations are going to come from people who already have years long experience, and years long relationships with those people, and kind of building relationships with those people.
right.
So um pardon me, it's flying here. It's one of those things where it sucks because it's not a direct path, right? Like you can't just say, "Yo, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna get a placement." It's
Mhm.
very, very rare that you hear like somebody just walked up to somebody and showed them some beats. Like, and most of the time, even people that say that, that's not really what happened in there. They're leaving out
Bro,
the industry politics.
I'm telling you, bro. Like, there's a lot of industry politics. I was gonna say
Yeah,
that.
it's like it's never as clear as they try to make on some of these,
And
interviews. Some of these people are like, "Oh yeah, I just showed it to so and so, and he wanted them all."
it's a lot of
Um,
networking too. Like, people don't understand how much networking goes into that. You know what
yeah,
I'm
and
saying?
it's typically a lot of paying dues. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
a lot of the people that you see in good positions in the industry, they they took a lot of L's to get there. You know what I'm saying? They either did ghost production work or they worked on a bunch of projects that didn't make it, that flopped. They went through the drama and the um kind of like the challenges, and they never stopped. But on top of that, there's also the exposure.
Hmm.
I think I talked about this before. You know what I'm saying? Like the formula for success that I learned from one of my early marketing mentors is, you know success is the combination of talent, image, and exposure. You know what I'm saying? And talent is like 10% of the equation. So you still got
Yeah.
90% that isn't accounted for. So the image is like another 20,
Yep.
but 70% of it is exposure. You know what I'm saying? So exposure could be, getting in front of a large crowd of people, or it could be networking with a whole lot of people and being exposed to a person that's in a great position. So you could be talented and have a great image, and you know what I'm saying? You could be a max out on talent, but that's still only going to get you 10% the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, the talent part is, as creatives, we overvalue what the talent part is. We
Mm-hmm.
think like, yo, if I get better, if I just keep getting better and I keep getting better, I'm gonna get on. That's not how it works. You know what I'm
And
saying? Like,
we all had them stories too, where people like be peaking. You think like you got the hottest beat, and then the artist come through and pick the beat that you hate the most.
yeah, yeah.
You know?
But getting back to the exposure part, you might be in an area where you're not going to get any exposure. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
if you're in like Toledo, Ohio, no disrespect to Toledo, but that's not, you know what I'm saying? You trying to get placements, you want to do songs with Migos, you're not going to do it in Toledo, Ohio. You know what I'm saying? Like there's what do they call it? A snowball's chance in hell of that happening. You know what I mean? Like Migos comes through, you know what I'm saying? It does a show there, which is very unlikely. But if they did, and you maybe paid the right person to get in front of this person, and it's such a far shot to try to uh get on in a place that has no outlets. You know what I'm saying? And I'm from South Jersey, where it's like, bro, like I worked the Philly market real heavy for years, and Philly's just not. There are artists that came from Philly, like the Roots, Eve, Jill Scott. You know what I'm saying? There's artists who came from Philly, but you're talking about a handful of people in the past 25, 30 years. You know what I'm saying?
No.
It's not a hot spot. It's not
No.
a hot spot for the music industry. You know what I mean? Like,
As soon as you're done, I want to chime in too. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
well, I like I said, it all depends on where you are in life. Because for me, I'm really great at networking. Like I said, I believe I would have had placements out here, but everything changed for me when I had kids. So the way that I moved and stuff changed a lot because
Hmm.
I wanted to be a good father, and that was just more important to me than like the music and networking. Because I'm telling you, like you're talking about like nights and clubs, you know what I'm saying, location. I have my dude Wayne is like a person I'm gonna give an example of, and I'm proud of that dude. But people don't see like Wayne's been working since he's 16. Wayne is in his late 20s now. I can't remember how old he is, but he ain't 30 yet. You know what I'm saying? But he's just now starting to get like his real traction now. Like he's had like, you know what I'm saying, like little placements here, and he's worked with bigger artists or upcoming artists and stuff like that. Like right now he's working with some popping upcoming artists who are like, doing their thing right now, in the Midwest scene. But like people don't see like how many, like Wayne is went to Detroit, He's went to Flint. He's went
Hmm.
to California. He's went to Atlanta. He's went, like, you gotta, like, when you wanna get your name out there, if you want to get placements, you gotta move around in some cases, and you gotta put yourself in front of the right people. And networking is huge. And like you were saying, the exposure, that's gonna help you get the exposure if you can get like tracks with people in different states, like especially popping states. Like Atlanta is like a hip-hop hub. New York is a hip-hop hub. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
places like this, Nashville, like for country and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you can get yourself in front of people that are working in these scenes where all the huge networking is happening, and you can get your music out that way, then I'll start to give you the exposure and your image.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's not like overrated.
yeah,
I was like I said, I was in like Philly, South Jersey, Philly market. Basically my whole life. I lived out there for 25 years. And as far as like, okay, as far as like people who came from that area recently, really only the homie Cardiac, producer that, I mean, he's got a ton of placements now, but he's a perfect example of a big fish in a small pond, right? Like, pardon me, the slide is really on my ass. But basically Cardiac was producing for he was making beats for this collective in the area of the town I'm from. And they were all homeboys, you know what I'm saying, all went to school together. And he was making beats for them for probably, I don't know, 6-7 years maybe. And they're just selling mixtapes in front of the cheesesteak spot, you know what I'm saying, which is a
hmm
cool hustle, you know what I'm saying, you make some money off it. But it's like they never went anywhere on a national scale, right? So Cardiac started sending beats to Philly, you know what I'm saying? That was a nearer city to us. He did some joints with like Freeway. Freeway was kind of like, he wasn't at his biggest at that point. It was like after the Rockefeller days. And then somehow his beats made its way up to Fab in New York. No, actually, was it Fab? Yeah, it was Fab. Yep.
okay,
And
yep,
Fab did this song called he used one of his beats for this song called Start It Up. And it basically, Fab was like, the song was so hot that he called everybody. Like he called, I think Lloyd Banks was on it. Uh who else? Swiss Beats was on it. Um who else? Man, I'm trying to remember who was on Started Up. Oh, Kanye got on it at one point when Kanye was like at the
yeah,
peak, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So the song just exploded. I think there was like even bigger remix that had like, I don't know, it might have been Hove or somebody on it. So it turned into this huge record in New York City. And then I think next after that, Lloyd Banks called him to do a record, and then it was a wrap. He did like Lloyd Banks' whole second
yeah.
or third album, what I mean, Hunger
hmm
for More 2, I think it was. And then it was like after that, you know what I'm saying? You could just see the phone calls started coming in. He started doing stuff with Rick
Yeah.
Ross, Dice Pineapples. Like, yo, my man
hmm
got classics, bro. And
Yeah.
and and to this day, I mean, he just did records on her new album. I mean, the
Oh,
dude is
that's my
getting,
baby, by the way.
yeah, no, I mean, he's like R&B pop placements, like that's where but he moved to LA. You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah.
moved to LA. I want to say it's probably 10 years ago.
Well, see, that he
Um,
was smart though, because like when he started to get that buzz, he realized that if he wanted to keep it going, to keep the momentum going, he had to move to a place where the stuff was happening. LA is another spot that's like huge for like like
yeah,
anything entertainment. You know.
yeah. And I saw that, and it kind of inspired me, because I wasn't really making music at that point. I was more into the visuals, like photography and video, and I was shooting music videos for people. So I was like, yo, man, you know what I'm saying? I got to get out of this small pond. So I left Jersey, you know what I'm saying? And I came down to Atlanta in like 2013.
hmm
And it was mind blowing because I was seeing people come into town. Um, I was seeing people come into town, go to the same studios as the artists I was working with. Cause I was working with a whole bunch of like artists that were, I guess you can call them local, but they were from like Alabama, they were from like Mississippi, different areas around Atlanta, and they were coming to like work on their career. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
and they're in these kind of like small time, I don't call them small time, but they're, they're paid studios, but they might be like 35, $40 an hour, nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
But they're in there and then they're running into these people, and then like literally a week or two later, 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, that person's song is hitting the radio. And I watched it happen with directly with what's the kid's name? The two kids, No Flex Zone.
Ray Sherman.
Ray Shrimmer. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We
They
was in a
from they from
session,
where I'm from. They from where I'm from.
Mississippi, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So like, I was working with an artist who's from was it Alabama? I gotta remember. I can't remember where he is from, but it was one of the southern states down here. And he was in the studio, in the next studio down from Ray Sherman. They hadn't blown up yet, and he took a couple pictures with him or whatever. And No Flex Zone was starting to hit in the clubs down here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, and it was like 2 weeks later after he took this picture with him. I think Nicki Minaj jumped on the No Flex Zone remix, and it
Mm-hmm.
went national, like
Mm-hmm.
national.
Yeah.
And then it was gone. Then it was gone. Like then Ray Sherman was like huge. You know what I'm saying? They were
Mm-hmm.
like the next crisscross. So I watched it happen with them. I watched it happen with man, my memory is crazy right now. I need some ginkgo or something, man, because there was a few artists down here I was watching that started taking off. So after I saw it happen about 3 or 4 times in the first year that I was here, and it's like this because I was working with a lot of one of my homies is one of the bigger DJs out here, and a lot of the guys that were coming up to visit him at the DJ booth, they were kind of up and coming. They were taking off, like, you know what I'm saying? And 6 months later, their songs national, you know what I'm saying, on all the video shows, on all the radio shows. So I say all that to say, like, changing location is so underrated. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of people do it because they realize, but it's not like it's not like something that people are just making up. You know what I'm saying? Like the people
Right.
who do change their location and they go where things are happening, they do win a lot more.
But
It's
if
like fact of life.
it is, and you just got to think about it. If you're a fisherman, if you're trying to catch fish, are you gonna go to a pond where there's no fish? No, you're
Right.
gonna go to the pond where you know all the fish is at. That's they have all this technology for fishing and stuff. For people who don't fish, that will show you where all the fish are, and
Yeah.
people go to those spots and they fish. So if
Yeah.
you're fishing for placements and stuff like that, how are you gonna get it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're staying at home and you're not getting out and networking and stuff, you better know some people who are, at least, or be in a circle of people that are already doing that. But most likely, if you're in that type of circle, you know what I'm saying, the people that you're connected with are doing the stuff that, you know what I'm saying, they're in a pond that has a lot of fish in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because my
And,
boy B
and
Cole is like that. Like he works from home, he stays here, and he still has placements and stuff. But he knows people who are in moving around, and he works
yeah.
with those people.
And proximity is huge, man, because I mean, put it like this. When I was doing my camera stuff, in the Philly market, I might run into maybe like one celebrity a month. You know what I mean? It wasn't like anybody huge. It might be like, no disrespect to like Jeremiah, you know what I mean? But it's like
Mhm.
Jeremiah, like some R&B groups here and there, you know what I'm saying? Catch them at a show, backstage, take some pics, that kind of thing. Um, a lot of my friends were promoters and stuff like that. So they would bring some of the smaller acts to the city, you know what I mean? So I would run into a few celebrities here and there. But when I came to Atlanta, it's like literally the first month I was here, I'm shaking hands on, because again, I'm working with the DJs that are out here.
Yeah.
And the DJs are breaking records in the city, you know what I mean? So they get a lot of love from artists, you know what I mean? It's just a respected craft in the city, really heavy, like it is in New York City, you know what I mean? But maybe even more so. So, I'm on stage with these DJs because I'm filming their branding stuff. I'm filming them spinning, taking pics for them, building their websites. And the first month I'm here, bro, I met Usher. I'm kicking it with Usher on the stage. He's up there for like an hour with us, just hanging, drinking.
Yeah.
Um, Ludacris got invited to his pool party in the VIP, you know what I mean? Like upstairs on the balcony with him. while everybody else is out partying, jumping in the pool and stuff. So hanging with Luda with his team. Um, I mean, Tip, 2 Chains. I'm in the studio with 2 Chains, and at that time I wasn't producing, so I had nothing to show these guys because that really wasn't my goal at that time. I was really working on the branding stuff. You know what I mean?
You
So
dropped the ball on that too, because you got some hot production, man.
hey, I appreciate it, but at that time I wasn't making anything that they would work on. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
was making, all my stuff was really East Coast. You know what I mean? Kind of
Definitely.
like boom bap type stuff. And
Yeah,
it wasn't until that time in Atlanta that I got that influence that I started making more kind of modern trap stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it was after that window, really. You know what I mean? And I
yeah,
don't beat myself up about it because that really wasn't my goal at the time. But excuse me, the only reason I bring it up is because had I wanted to go after placements, it I was definitely in the right place. Like I
yeah.
was literally hand to hand with these people, and I could have literally asked them. It might have been a stretch on some. You ask Usher like, "Hey man, you mind if I email you a couple beats?" He might be like, send them to my manager." You know what I mean? Like, but the
Yeah,
fact is, I have a chance. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And that literally happened like the first month I'm here, bro. Like the first month I'm in Atlanta, I met more celebrities that first month and was kind of like rubbing elbows with celebrities, more celebrities in that first month than I would in a whole maybe 2 or 3 years in Philly. So the location really matters, and I hate to really just harp on this too much because a lot of us have we're unable to change our location because we have families, we have
Yeah,
kind of things that are grounding us to where we are. Um, but
exactly.
if you don't have those obligations, if you're trying to get placements, there's no better way than go somewhere where the studios are buzzing. You know what I mean? There's a lot of studio sessions happening and where there's a lot of networking opportunity. You know what I mean? Where the people go to actually record where this stuff is happening. You know what I mean? It's like if you want to make a movie, go to Hollywood.
For sure.
If you want to be around movies, go to Hollywood. You're not going to do it,
Even
you
Atlanta
know.
is big for Georgia, is huge for movies too.
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
like
And
all
it's kind
Marvel
of
and all that stuff is in Georgia. They make all the Marvel movies and stuff down there. We actually know
exactly.
people that work on the sets down there. My
Hmm.
boy Marlon, I think he was out there working with them. I think he's gonna try to become another driver because they have like CDL people who have
Hmm.
CDLs, come down there and drive the sets, like the stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
equipment
Move the
for the
sets
sets
around.
and
Yep.
stuff. Yeah, so like they get to see all that stuff. But yeah, you was right. I got kind of get off track, but
Yeah, and me too, man. I kind of got too far on the location stuff, but it's
it
not
is.
overrated. Like it's definitely a real thing. Um,
So if you're
my
that
man Sana
kid,
Short,
oh, go ahead, bro.
not my bad. He said the one reason I'm not winning, I haven't had the chance to make anything lately. And yo, bro, like,
I was just about to touch on this. Like being prepared is a thing for me too. Like, and sometimes, like you said, with the time and like all your responsibilities and stuff, you can't get like the stuff you need. Because I give you a story. Like I actually had a chance where I could have, I was actually working on music at the time, and we had freaking dang we had an artist here. He's not really popping right now. Um, but I didn't have any music to give him. I didn't have anything
mm,
to show for. I wasn't prepared, like in situations like that, you want to have stuff together too. You can't be out here chasing placements and chasing like that type of thing, and you don't even have your material together. You got to have like that stuff ready, because most of the time these guys are on the move, and they, like they said, they're gonna hit you with an email, or they're gonna hit you with send it to my manager, and you got to have something to send, man. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
preparation and stockpiling, man, and just having stuff ready to go if the opportunity pops up. But I definitely, I definitely relate to what he's saying as far as not having a chance to make anything lately. I mean, I mean that's a huge struggle. I was literally just talking to O about that right before we got on. Um, yo, bro, this has been a rough year for me too. You know what I'm saying? Like this podcast and just getting on here and trying to create something has been really the only way I've been able to make anything, video wise this year. You know what I'm saying? Like I probably last year I put out maybe like 40 videos. This year I put out probably like 10. and then most of it has been live stuff, you know what I mean, like live streams and this podcast. So um not having a chance to make anything, especially when you have kids, is a real issue. And yo, bro, you're not alone, man. Like I we all struggle with it, man. When you got obligations and responsibilities, it's really tough to actually get in there and stay productive. I think the for me, what's been getting me through where I haven't allowed myself to get in a low place about it is I've just tried to find ways to make something and not beat myself up about it. Whether it's,
Oh,
for me, I haven't had a chance to make a whole bunch of beats. Like I've used my Live 2. This is crazy because I've used my Live 2 this year like 4 times, bro. Like a $1,200 MPC that I've used 4 times this year. But
and
I've 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 been finding ways to stay creative and working on the standalone soul sound pack collection. Even that is like, yo, it's going so slow because I'm like almost a month behind right now because it's just so hard to find the time, man. And you know what I'm saying? I know I'm gonna make up for it, but it's so easy to beat yourself up when you don't have time to do stuff. But I think in those times where you literally can't make stuff, one of the things that gets me through is pulling out a notepad and starting to write down what I do want to do when my time opens up again.
yeah,
So sometimes what'll happen is if you go like this long time without making anything and working on music, when you finally get the time again, you might have gotten into some habits that aren't really good for you, like maybe playing video games or just going to the bar, drinking with your homies, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever it is, like it all has a meaning and a purpose, you know what I mean? Like it probably serves you in some way. But as far as your career, if you don't have goals written down, it's going to be very hard to and goals sitting in front of you all the time, it's going to be very hard to stay on track when the time comes back around. And I beat myself up about wasting time a lot, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's probably my biggest pet peeve
yeah.
is wasted money and wasted time, you know what I
We
mean? And
talk about this all the time. Like all we like it's crazy how much me and Sight talk about just like stuff like this, man. Because
yeah,
we
we
I
struggle
mean,
on the phone. Like me and Obi on the phone, like really going through it sometimes because it's like, relationships with women, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Eating up time, that relationships that don't pan out, or,
yeah,
because you're single, you know what I mean? So that's something you
mhm,
you have a challenge with. With me, it's like I don't ever feel bad about spending more time with my kids, but I do feel bad when I might have had 2 hours, where I could have gotten to the lab and worked on something, and
yeah,
instead I watched something on Netflix. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, and it's because I didn't have my goals written down. Like when I have my goals in front of me, even if it's like a little yellow sticky note on my computer monitor, when I sit down, it's like it could be 4 or 5 things, but I know as long as I have something in front of me that is gonna get me back on track when I sit down in my lab,
yeah.
um, that definitely takes away a lot of that frustration of not getting anything done.
And
You know
it's
what
a
I mean?
balancing act. Like you told me about the checklist and actually the checklist. When I do them, I'm still trying to get better with actually like making them out. But when I do make them out, I can see the I can see like more production when I do that.
Yeah,
Because like when you're checking stuff off on that list, you're getting stuff done, and it makes you want to check like other
yeah,
things off on the box. So, like just preparation, man, and scheduling your time because everything's a balancing act, especially if you got like families. Like, that's the whole reason why this Dad Beats podcast exists is because we're all creative people, but we're also trying to balance like family and like real shit. Like, everybody talks about all the glamour and all the gold and stuff, but nobody really talks about like the struggles behind the scene. Like
yeah,
stuff that you go through, and you really have to be on point with your stuff, like with your time management. Time management is so huge. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy how much time can get away from you if you really don't pay attention to it. That's why you have to
yeah,
block time out. That's why you have to put in, you have to have times where you do this and you have to have times when you do that. But you know what I'm saying? It's never gonna always work out perfectly the way you want it, but you can pretty much like try to keep yourself on track if you have a schedule set out. If you don't have
Yeah.
no schedule set out, it's almost impossible.
Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I hate scheduling because, the reason I hate scheduling is because I can't schedule.
Yeah,
I can't schedule because my wife, her schedule at work varies, right? So like
yeah,
this week she might have off Tuesday and Wednesday. Next week she might have off Saturday and Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
my schedule has to revolve because, you know what I'm saying? Like basically her days off is when I get most of my work done.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's been for me the past few years, and you guys can probably see it with my channel. That's why my channel is so inconsistent because it's almost impossible for me to schedule. You know what I mean? Just with the way my life is set up right now. And it drives me crazy, honestly. You know what I mean? Because um it's one of those things where if I know for sure I own my own business, right? But I know for sure I can make $6,000, $7,000 in a month with my business, right? Like on a good month,
Hmm.
which I don't know if I put in the amount, if look at the amount of hours that I spent, I might have spent like 40 hours total the whole month working, right? And
Right.
I can make like 7 grand. And for some reason, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to my family, like people will not take my business serious, like in a sense of if I'm in my lab working, I'll get knocks on the door. Can you do this real quick? And it's frustrating because like if I went and worked a 9 to 5 job, and I don't care if I was working at McDonald's, I can go work at McDonald's right now and make, I don't know, $8 an hour, and nobody in my family will bother me.
Yeah.
They would respect my eight
No.
dollar an hour job more than something that pays probably 10 times as much. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And that's just,
So
that's just crazy. But that's just the worker bee mindset that we've been programmed to do. And that's another whole different subject. But that's what it
yeah,
is. That's what it
yeah.
is. The
And it's
entrepreneurs suffer when it comes to that.
yeah. So the reason I'm telling y'all is because it's not just because your brand hasn't taken off, or you're because you're not at a certain level of success. Honestly, as long as you have your own thing and you're not working for someone, for some reason like 99% of people are not going to respect what you have as much as they would if somebody else had it. And it's the craziest phenomenon, but when you have your own business, it doesn't matter if you're making $1 million a year. Like, yo, people are gonna not respect your time like they
Yeah.
would if you said, I'm going to work.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll leave you alone. You know what I'm saying? They would respect you saying I'm going to work, but you say,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm working in my office, you know what I mean? So that, yeah, like you said,
You
it's
s-
kind of a whole nother subject in a way, but
you still
it
push through it though. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
I think you have like, because if you can't put like a physical schedule down and stuff like that, I think for you, you have like mental triggers. So when your wife gets home, it's time to get in the lab. Like, now,
yeah,
baby, it's time we doing a transition now. Here go the kids.
yeah,
It's time for me to go to work, whether people are bothering you or not. So it's like every time, like when your wife gets home, that's time for you to get jiggy in the lab. You know what I'm saying? So
man, I get jiggy.
you know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. Like you gotta come, because it's not gonna be perfect, right? But if you can come up with some type of routine where that, when this happens, I gotta do this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Or like for me,
yeah,
it's easier for me to try to plan it out and then fail versus me not planning. Because if I don't plan anything, or if I don't try to schedule anything, zero things are getting done. I promise you. So like the fact when I got this because I got a calendar up here, I try to write on it and stuff. And the you can tell my productivity from the months that I fill it out, and I used to do whole months. I just do 2 weeks now. Like I try to
hmm,
schedule 2 weeks out and that's it. You know, if I
yeah,
hit it, then I mark it. If I don't, then I exit, but at least I can see like my progress, and it's kind of keeping me, what I'm saying, on path. But
yeah.
like
And
to
and
each
and
his
that's
own,
that's
you
the
gotta figure out your
consistent
own.
thing, right? Like between
Yeah.
me, you, Raul. I remember one of the early things I saw on Raul's channel was, him putting stuff on his calendar. It's not so much sticking to a routine exactly. It's the fact it comes back to the title, producer goals. It comes back to setting, having a goal in your mind, writing it down, and having it written down for some reason or another, whether you chalk it up to like metaphysical stuff or just, mindfulness and just staying alert to things that you want to accomplish, whatever it is, whatever that force is that happens when you start writing stuff down is very real. You know what I mean? And that's why
No.
I was trying when I say I don't schedule, I was trying to let some of you guys know who are like, as soon as you hear schedule, you're like, okay, I'm tuning out. You know what I mean? Because that's what I do.
Yeah.
You start talking about scheduling to me, I'm like, I start tuning out because that part of time management is not realistic for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I had a 9 to 5 job, it'd be more realistic because
Mhm.
I have set hours that everybody in my life respects.
Yeah.
Like when you go to a job, bro, everybody in your family respects it.
Yeah.
Everybody. There's no one who's like, yo, leave work and come pick me up.
Well,
No, like
I
maybe your
get that
kids if
now.
they're sick at work, like I mean sick at school, but
I get it now, man, because like I said, I do this and I work a 9 to 5. So
mhm,
when I go to work, man, everybody knows like I got to go to work. Like this man got to get to work, or you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? This is what pays for everything. But when I'm trying to do this, like kids want to walk through here and stuff. I'm like, yo, don't come in here, man.
Yeah, but what
They
I'm
want
saying is
to
this in my household, this like this pays for everything. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's
Like,
what I'm saying
and
though.
they
But
still don't, they don't
but I
care.
don't get it though. Like, they don't do the same thing to me at work. But like,
Mhm.
that's why I'm saying that's how
It's
I
it's because
know
you're
it's real
leaving.
for I know it's real for you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
It's because you're leaving it. And that's something that I realize is like for me, my biggest struggle is I know I need a separate office away from my house. Like
Yeah.
I've done this trying to work from home thing too long. Yo, there's no respect when you're in your own house, like for your business. It's just not gonna happen. Like um there might be the rare person who does respect it, but for the most part, what I mean, it's you're not gonna it's not the same respect as if you go somewhere. If I went somewhere to an office every day, I might get some calls, but I can ignore them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like so, that whole situation is very real, man. Like, but coming back to setting goals, I think that's something that, all of us have to do is really really get locked in on what is the destination. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Where is it you're trying to go? And it doesn't have to be your ultimate destination, like yo, the because it's always going to change. What we want is always going to change. When we get to a destination, we're like, okay, I'm here. What's next? I think the key is really to start setting destinations, putting them on paper, putting them somewhere where we see them every day.
Yeah.
Um, and it really it does something in your life where even if it's a checklist, like I always talk about how if you make a checklist, you don't even have to do everything on your checklist. Like I've noticed that half of it sometimes will check itself off.
Yeah.
Like, if it's like, yo, I need to pick this up from the store. Like somebody will call me like, yo, I'm at the store. Do you need anything? And it's like, okay, boom, something off the checklist. You know what I mean? That I didn't expect. I
Hmm.
was expecting to have to go do that.
Yeah.
Um,
Manifestation, kind of like, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's the biggest part of goals is writing it down, and they can change, you know what I mean? But I think um we both notice, and I think most people notice when you start writing stuff down that you want to happen and putting it somewhere that you're reminded of it every day, it has a phenomenal effect on reaching your goals.
Yeah.
Um, but I want to get back to the chat and kind of look at what
I just got one
uh
more thing on this
yeah,
too.
go
It's
ahead.
like
Hmm.
just like, and this is important too, is not stopping and staying consistent, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to my boy Bud Kelly. He in my chat over here on my channel. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my man just hit 1,000 like subscribers on YouTube, but he just like really started going hard with his YouTube channel. And this man be cooking up with his baby like on a sling, bro, like strapped to him, bro, making
Wow.
beats. And I said that's real determination right there.
Hmm.
Shout out to that man. Y'all go subscribe to him. But it's
Yo,
just
that's huge,
it's
bro.
just the point of like, it's like, how bad do you want it? You have to be
Hmm.
consistent. You can't stop, because like that's a major thing like with placements and stuff like that, is staying consistent. You can't stop. Your consistency has got to be there. Like with consistency comes progress. There's always progress when you're staying consistent. Even if you're not exactly where you want to be, you'll still see a lot of progress with just consistency. And that's all I want to say on that. And not letting nobody get in the way of your goals and your dreams. Like, You
Yeah.
have these goals and dreams, you have this roadmap. Don't let nobody get in your way and stop you from completing your goals, because then the only person that you can blame is yourself.
That's a
That's
fact.
real. That's real shit. So
And I wanted to get back to something that PBB Beats brought up. I think he was talking about his follower count. Let me see. Um, yeah, he said this week has been depressing too. I'm trying not to care about subs and shit, but last weekend I got 100 subs, mostly off a beat making video. Woke up Monday with 98 again and made it to 100 again. Um, One thing that you know, as far as YouTube, I think a lot of people put, and I think you say it later on, you know, I shouldn't care about subs and numbers and stuff. Um, I think we all like them, you know what I'm saying? But subs are what we call a vanity metric. Like,
mhm.
subscribers are something that they might make you feel better, but they don't. And I'm telling you from experience, like they don't correlate
Yeah,
to goals like income.
more
So
of a popularity contest type deal.
yeah, it's more really, and not even really popularity,
Yeah,
because you can have for instance, only 23% of the people who watch my videos are like actually subscribed to my channel. So you can take that as, oh man, 80% people don't like me, or you can look at it like, man, I'm reaching 80% new people every time I put a video out.
yeah,
So the popularity thing is it's not necessarily true. You know what I'm saying? You would think that somebody has more subscribers is more popular, uh, but you can have someone who has like you can have a video that has 1 million views, but you know, and you have 100 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not necessarily how far your video goes, and this is getting down to like YouTube stuff. I'm not going to go too deep in it,
yeah,
but the way YouTube works is they don't really care how many subscribers you have.
yeah.
Like you can, if you make the right video with the right thumbnail, with the right message,
Mhm.
that's set up the right way and keeps people's attention, they'll show it to more people than somebody who has way more subscribers than you, than their video, if their video isn't as good. So every single video is its own merit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why you'll see somebody with like, you know, 100,000 subs and a video might have like 1,000 views, because if it's not a good video, it can flop just like anybody's. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And if you have a good video, you can succeed just like anybody. So the difference is how fast your video jumps out the gate. So if you have, you know, 10,000 subscribers, YouTube is probably going to show it to like 1,000 people of those subscribers from the rip. You know what I mean? Anybody who's hit the bell notification. So that's just a way you can get like 1,000 views quicker. But if the video isn't good, YouTube's still going to stop showing it to people, just like if you had 100 subscribers. So subscribers is definitely something you don't want to dwell on too much. I know people who have 100,000 subscribers, or no, I don't know people who have like 50,000 subscribers who are about to quit YouTube because they're not making any money.
Yeah.
Um,
And this is the thing, like you were saying too, like, you know, it's all about knowing the cheat codes. Like any business or anything that you're trying to do, you have to learn the ins and outs, like what is doing good. Because like for instance, for me, I just got my channel monetized and I'm both proud and
oh,
I only have 51 videos on
my
my.
bad. Oh, I knocked you off real quick.
Oh, did
I
you?
was trying to, yeah, I was trying to feature you real quick. Hold on, because
Oh,
I got to
okay.
fix my window over here. Hold on a second. No, go ahead though.
Yeah. Well, what I was saying is I'm both ashamed and proud of this at the same time. It's like I only have 51 videos on my channel. Now, when you look at that, like in the grand scheme of that, like usually it takes like around 100 videos to like 150 videos to like even get to 1,000. But I think it's because of the content that I've made, and I know like, you know, social, like what you call that, SEO, so search engine optimization. That's like if you're doing YouTube, that's something you should definitely like learn how to do. You know what I mean? But you know, I got my channel monetized and I got over 1,000 subscribers with only 51 videos. Like that's good. But like, you know, just think if I would have been, more consistent, like with, because I think the earlier part of this year or last year, like when I was going through the house buying process of getting my house, I like fell off with like my videos a lot. So, like just think if I would have had 100 videos, 150 videos, like where I could be, that's where the consistency thing comes in. But I don't necessarily have to have subscribers, a whole bunch of subscribers to make money, because I've been making a little bit of money just off of affiliate marketing for like, the different stuff that I've been featuring on the channel, and things like that. And I'm coming up with like with my own products and stuff like that, like expansion packs, kind of like what Site is doing. And then I'm working on some other stuff that I'm not gonna Site knows about, but you guys will know about shortly. You know what I mean? But it's just about how you're carrying yourself with the business. It doesn't matter about subscribers and stuff like that. You don't have to have a huge following to do really good on YouTube, actually. Or
Yeah, that's a fact. They're like, I know people who 10,000 subscribers, they're making over 100,000 a year.
yeah,
And people are like, I know people with 80,000, 100,000 subscribers who don't even make a quarter of that. You know
you
what I
just
mean?
think.
So and it's not just about money. But if you're talking about being able to sustain your business and grow your channel, it's going to be a lot easier to do if you have $100,000 in your pocket than
Yeah.
if you have, you know, 10.
Well,
You
you
know what I'm
just
saying?
you just think, man, if you can get like 10,000 people, if you can get like 1,000 people to buy a shirt that's $10, and you put that shirt out by yourself, how much money is that? You know,
Yep. Yep.
like
That's
just
real.
what I'm saying. It's all a numbers. It's all a numbers game at the end of the day. But like certain numbers don't count when it comes to like what's possible. So
Hmm.
don't get yourself caught up on the matrix of, you know, because your subscribers are always going to fluctuate. I remember like having like 800 subs, and for some reason I dropped 10 subs, and I was like, whoa, what was that? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But it just happens.
Yeah. And so I think I wouldn't get too worried about subscribers as a metric. I mean, it's definitely something you want to gauge, because it does show you your progress in a certain way.
Yeah.
If you're connecting with people, you'll notice you'll get a spike in subscribers if you do certain things. Do certain things, and like I said, it's more, your subscribers is just kind of like a way to get your video out faster. You know what I mean? Like, get it out to more people faster. But
Hmm.
again, the quality of the video is going to dictate how far it goes.
Yep.
So, coming out the gate fast is good if you've got a great video, but if it's a bad video coming out the gate quick, you're just going to quickly
Go to the
not get
bottom.
shown. Yeah, exactly.
Because views and like how views and audience retention is what matters on YouTube. They want you to keep people watching your stuff as long as possible. And you know what I'm saying, for um did I say that right? They want people to watch your stuff, and they want you to keep them on the platform. So
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? That's what matters the most. And that's when you'll notice too, like if you're making great content and stuff, like you'll start to get your stuff pushed out more, like when you have videos that's like that. I think
Hmm.
that's the reason why I was able to get to 1,000 subscribers, because the videos, that I put out was videos that people actually needed help with, or it was, and I do my best to try to upgrade my quality all the time. So what I'm saying, better with speaking. I try to do better with speaking. I try to do better with like my thumbnails, better with my background, how the camera
Hmm.
looks. All that stuff matters, man. You know what I'm saying? Audio, I had somebody come through my comments like, yo, bro, you guys are producers, but this audio is trash. I'm like, let me take a look at this and see what's going on, but like that's the stuff
Hmm.
you got to care about. It's just, just improving a little bit, but don't even get super caught up into that, because you get better as you go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I first started, like you can look at my first videos, like, you know, the way I talk and stuff, it's all getting better, and I
Hmm.
only got 51 videos, you know. You
Yeah.
get better over time.
And getting back to the goals thing, subscribers are a goal you can set and you can aim for it. but again, it's something that's not necessarily really in your control. I mean, there's a certain level. If you stay consistent and you stay improving your videos, your subscribers are naturally going to go up.
Yeah.
But again, it's not necessarily an indication of the impact you're having. So it's a goal, but again, it's how much stock do you really want to put in that? Because it like I said, it's called a vanity metric for a reason. It makes you feel good, but it doesn't necessarily equate to income, and it doesn't necessarily equate to it's not neck and neck with how successful you are financially, and it's not neck and neck in how much impact you're having. So yeah, I wouldn't hang too much on the subscriber thing, and I think as when you get into YouTube, that's easy to do.
Super
Um,
fans with anything that you do anyway. Like you don't want 10,000, 100,000 people that's on your page. That's not like for you tight knit community. That's one of the reasons why Sight is so successful with what he does with like the subscriber count that he has, because he's built like NPC Gang. NPC Gang is just not a Facebook, it's a community, it's a group. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of stuff that you guys need to be trying to build, whether it's with music and stuff like that. Because when you think about the producers and stuff like that, when people get locked in, they actually form a community around them, a
yeah.
community of people that are doing things for them, where it's their assistants, like their managers and stuff like that. Like you start to like form this community around you. And that's the
Hmm.
stuff that helps you propel forward. You want 100 or 1,000 super fans versus having 10,000 people who don't even mess with your brand. You know,
Yeah.
every one person that's on your channel that rocks with you the real way, those are the type of people that you want. You know what I'm saying? You don't matter like if you got 100,000 people, if only 10 of them like really rock with you, the long way.
And that's you touched on something that is a very major goal. And I'm gonna click on a couple comments because I think they relate to it. All right. So we got a Maxim talking about do you think beat battles help a lot with exposure? And then right below that, um, I think it's Jorge. I don't want to mispronounce it, bro, if it's George, but Jorge, that's what I was gonna say. I live in a small town in Kansas, and I feel like it makes it hard for me to connect with artists and get my material out there. All right, this goes back to what you were. Come on, man. Oh, it's Halloween.
Yeah.
My bad.
Hey, what's
Yeah,
up,
this
man?
is young Chase down here.
Look at the turkey.
Y'all going trick or treating?
Turkey.
She made my baby girl a turkey. All right, come on, big man. Daddy got to finish the show. Y'all going out
They
now?
look cute though.
Kids are out now in the neighborhood.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, they were going out.
Okay.
They look like they
So
ready
yeah, they
to
about to
go.
go trick or treating.
They ready to get it in, man.
Oh man, yeah, that's. I have a problem with my son dressing up as any type of cop, even a dog cop. But that's neither here nor there. That's my old school jersey right there. But well, now where was I?
No,
Yeah, community.
yeah,
All right, so both of those things revolve around community. Beat battles are a local community in your area. You know what I'm saying? Like usually you can start them. You know what I'm saying? Or you can help. You can link up with other producers and start putting those together. Or if you know people who already have beat battles, going to them frequently, getting to know the promoter, getting to know the people who put it together, the other producers, that puts you in a community that most times, again, going back to my man Cardiac, he was doing the battles with I Standard a lot.
mm-hmm.
And I don't know how much that led to his success because he was definitely already heading in the direction like he was making great music. He was constantly improving his craft, and he was always networking. But I'm sure it didn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? So even if I know for sure that it linked him up with a couple other producers who were already established. Because I did one of them, and I mean, there was three established producers who were judges every time. So beat battles are definitely help with exposure.
Yeah.
Again, it's not about locking in on one thing. It's about kind of doing as much as you can. You know what I mean? So being a part of that community with the beat battles, getting involved as much as you can.
Yeah.
People like to work with people they like. So
Mhm.
if you go to the people who are putting the beat battles together, if they are legit, like meaning they really are connected, they're going to be great people to build relationships with and to help out. You know what I mean? I'm not saying spend all your time helping them, but I'm saying like,
Mhm.
you know, they might need somebody helping them, you know, put up flyers, you know what I mean, put up posters or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like on like a Saturday night where you're not doing nothing but chilling at the crib.
Yep.
You know, so going out for a couple hours and hanging up flyers is going to put you in a better position with them. So those type of time investments I feel like are worth it because yeah, it definitely leads to exposure.
Yeah.
Going to what Jorge was saying, um, it is hard, man. Like if you're in a city where there's not a lot of exposure and there's not outlets, you know what I mean? Like I call them outlets. Like people talking about the plug.
Yeah.
What's a plug if you don't got no outlets?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Look,
you know, in those cities where you don't have performance venues and you don't have like a thriving music culture,
yeah.
um, and music economy, you know what I mean, where people are actually making money, it's gonna be tough, man. You know what I mean? So in those cases, which is kind of where I'm at, you know what I'm saying? I'm outside of Atlanta. I could go to the city and start going back to the studios and trying to get placements and stuff, but you know, after Bankroll Fresh got killed at the studio out here like a few years back, and rest in peace to Bankroll. I don't I'm good. I'm good off the studios. You know what I'm saying? Like
well,
I got
see,
a family now. I got it just to me it's not worth um
well, see, people be missing like the biggest thing though. Like for Jorge, I hope I'm saying it right too. Like if you're a producer in 2021 and you want to get your stuff out there, you're looking at the number one place to build a community right here on YouTube.
yeah.
So there's your answer right there, bro. If you're in a small town in Kansas and stuff like that, if you can't get your music out that way, then you can start building connections this way. This is still a place like, I would have never linked up with Sight, Matthew Stratton, I Make Beats, all the people that I'd be doing stuff with if I had never started YouTube. And in a sense, that's kind of like being in like in a big city because, YouTube is a place where people go all the time. So you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm networking and I'm getting myself in front of like different people audiences and stuff, like vice versa, when you're networking with people, there you go, man. You get your beats out there, somebody sees your stuff. Now you're linked in that way. Because that's been happening a lot too, especially with like the TikTok age and stuff, like with all the things that's going on. If you want to build a community and get your stuff out there, it's just not going to be the same as the traditional way, and it might not feel the same because you're not going to be around the people that but it's still a really great place to build a community. And you might figure out that once you start building your community like this and stuff like that, your goals might change and like what you want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you'll realize like the placements and stuff like that don't really matter as far as like what type of money you can make too. So like a lot of people put themselves through a lot of stress and strain trying to get like placements and like be around like all that stuff. Cause like I said, you got to pay dues, you got to do a lot of networking, man, a lot of political stuff, to get yourself in these networks with these people. Like sometimes, you
Yeah,
gotta,
sometimes if they're established. And
yeah,
that's the thing, like you know, I don't know if you guys know like Murder Beats story or whatever, but I mean, dude is from Canada and he made some of the biggest hits for Migos, like in Atlanta. But that's when they were kind of coming up, you know what I mean? And a lot of it is, you know, he genuinely liked what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I'm like not a big Migos fan. I would like I wouldn't hear like early Migos, like I like Fight Night and all them stuff. They were like funny songs, but
yeah,
they weren't like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like something like I'm gonna just ride around bumping, but that was his type vibe. Like that's what he was really into. So he started sending them beats like when they were just kind of getting started. And I think that's the key, man, is to link up with people on the way up who you see potential in, who you really rock with. And I don't think without reaching out to people on the way up, he definitely wouldn't be where he is now. You know what I mean? Like is that eventually he started going down to Atlanta, but you have to make the initial connection first. You
hmm,
know, like you can just go somewhere, but I think at the end of the day, it's good to have contacts before you go anywhere too.
yeah,
So use the internet, to just make that initial connection, And once you get in a position where it's like, okay, I'm about to go on a trip. I got some extra money. I got some vacation time for my job. Let me just shoot down to Atlanta or whatever, LA. Now you make it like a work vacation. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like you go out there, you link up. I tell people all the time too, like book some time at a studio. Like if you're gonna go on a trip to Atlanta or LA, take three, four, $500, like put it to the side instead of going to the club every night. Book studio time every night. Book $250 in studio time every night. You know what I mean? Book because if you're planning to go out and spend that money in one of these cities, like on some tourist stuff, you might as well go where you love being and make some music in a nice studio. And then it's different when you had the session is yours and you're inviting artists to come through, because then they're coming through like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? Like, Syke got a session at Hot Beats tonight, you know what I mean, or Green Tree Sound, or whatever the studios are out here now. It's kind of like a mix. You're doing a vacation, you're also doing some fly shit with, you're on an SSL board, or whatever you try to get a nice little studio. That's a better way to spend your time and energy than just like going out to a club trying to link up with artists. Like I tell guys that all the time who would try to come down and like, yo, I'm about to go to this strip club, and they say so and so's over there. I'm like, yo, they're there to have fun. They're not working. You go to the studio if you want to get work. Like there's some artists who are really focused. They're always in the studio. That's what they love doing. They're not at the strip club. So if you want to get work done and you want to link up with people who are working, go where they're working. Go to the studios, book sessions. You'll make, good relationships with the engineers. You'll make, and like I said, you'll run into like a Ray Shremmer before they blow up. You'll run into, different people while they're still on the come up. Because when people are looking to come up, that's where they are. They're on that second level where they're not recording at home. They're recording in the studio. They have some type of budget. So now you're talking about a place where you're going to be able to sell beats. You know what I mean? Like you have a much higher chance of being able to sell beats if you're somewhere where people are already paying for studio time. If they're spending $250, $300 a night on studio time, they have no problem spending $200, $300, $500 on a beat. You know what I mean? So, it's definitely just thinking, just trying to be smarter about where you're putting your money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. French Montana. I finally thought about it. Like that's the artist. Like I met him before he the song that he freaking dropped that went crazy came out, man. He was on the party bus. I didn't have nothing to give him, man. Nothing to give him. I wasn't prepared, bro. French Montana, bro. The only thing I can remember is that man's chain, though. That boy's chain was on something else. It was on a different level. So he must have been doing something right. But yeah, man, I had a question in the chat too. What it's like it says, do you have television show placement experience?
What was it? Show.
So they're basically talking about placements for like TV and stuff. Those are different. And if you want to get those, man, you got to plug in with like, the production or like the music managers and stuff of movies and TV shows. And if you want to find out who those people are, I actually did some research on this. IMDb is a place where you can go and get ratings, but they'll also like show you like who all is a part of like a project. So when you go look up these movies, if you go to IMDb, you can look up like and it'll show you like the producers, like the cinematography managers, the people like doing that. So you want to look under like the music stuff. You want to find who the music managers are, and then you can start networking that way. Usually they'll have like their names, and then you can search them and like get their emails on LinkedIn. Like you can connect with a lot of these people on LinkedIn. So if that's something that you want to do, that's a way to do that.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. All my ASCAP credits are from Sync Licensing. So basically, because I don't have like any major music placements. Like I didn't really pursue that, after like 2008. But I did do some Sync licensing. I had stuff on BET, stuff on MTV. MTV all around the world. It was like MTV Europe, like all over the place. So I did it through this company. They're no longer around. I think I submitted some stuff to them. They were called man, I totally forgot what they were called, man. But last time I looked them up, they didn't exist any longer. But there are these kind of third party companies that you can send your music to, but you have to split your publishing with them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like you're giving away 50% of your publishing on those sync licensing agreements. But some people have a lot of success with it. You know what I mean? And I think having, your man on here to talk about that would
That's
be
what I was
great.
just about to say. I'm trying to get a guy, you know what I'm saying? I don't know him like that great, but I know people have great you know what I'm saying, like relationship with him. And I've talked to him a couple times. But
What's his name?
he would Tommy Prophet, man.
Tommy Prophet, yeah.
That guy is like, if you look on his website, I think it's tommyprophet.com. Like you can see like all the people he's worked with and all the like basically his accolades as far as like placements and like the music industry and television and TV. The guy is
Yeah, like
is
films,
a beast.
games, like
Yeah,
like Call of Duties
he's
and
got so
stuff. Like,
much stuff out there, bro. Like, I'm trying to get him on here because he would be like the perfect person to talk about that stuff. So I just got to reach
absolutely.
out to him, see if we can get him on here, but hopefully we can. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Tommy Prophet, man. If you happen to catch this, man, we'd love to have you on.
yeah,
It's a
man.
long shot, but you never know. But
Hey, man.
yeah. So, and that's what we're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to bring more people who are experienced in certain areas of the industry to share their information.
Because
And
we don't know it all. Like honestly, we're both like as much experience as we have and stuff. We don't know everything. We're figuring this stuff out too. So
yeah, but if you look up sync licensing companies, that's what it's called when they sync your music with film with the video project. It's called synchronization or sync licensing. So basically you license your beat to be synchronized with a film, and that's definitely a way to make like there's people that really make a really good living doing that. So yeah, check that out. Look up sync licensing. I don't know which companies are doing it right now, but I'm sure there are third party companies that you can get involved with. And you have to make your beats a certain type of way most of the time. Like they have to be,
yeah,
you have to be very descriptive. Like you have to say, this is a rock influenced hip hop beat. You know, in this key at this tempo. Like you have to be very specific
yeah,
about what it is, because these people who are putting the music together for films and games and stuff, they know exactly what they want. They're like, yo, we need this tempo, because they've already done the video edit and they need the song to synchronize with the video edit most of the time.
mhm.
So I mean, it is a certain level of work. And then they usually have these contests too, where it's like, yo, you know, Call of Duty is looking for sync opportunities. So we're looking for, they might tell you like, trap style beats between this tempo and this tempo, and you can make them to spec. You know what I mean? So there are companies that do that,
Yeah,
and I've had a little bit of success with them. I haven't made a ton of money off it, like maybe like a few $100, but I didn't really go that hard neither. I literally put like 20 beats on a website 10 years ago, and you know what I'm saying, like twice a year they would get picked up. So I think if I went harder with it, and you know what I'm saying, I was on the website all the time, I definitely would have had a lot more.
yeah. Like I said, hopefully we can get Tommy on here because I'm telling you, he'll probably be able to break that down. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
we're definitely gonna dive into that more. Try to get some
Who,
experts in there.
who else we got in the chat? We got any some more stuff going on in here? Because I see a lot of people in here.
Holy most, yo, it's really frustrating to see those Sweetwater payments come out and you can't get to the gear to make music. Oh, buddy, yeah, man, that that is extremely frustrating, man. And that's why a lot of people ask me, that they're like, oh, Sai, you really stick to this minimalist thing, because I have my MPC Touch, I have a Keystation 49 MIDI controller, a Model 12 for my mixer, and a pedal board.
Yeah.
And it's precisely for that reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, um,
We're gonna have a whole podcast on this, like
yeah,
minimalist, and I think that's what I want to bring my boy B Cole on for, because like he's a great person. Like when it comes to like his studio is minimalistic, but like what he's been able to do with it is fire. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I think that should be a
It,
whole
it,
podcast.
I think, I mean, the gear lust thing is just, it's such a pervasive topic, man. Like,
Mm-hmm. It
it's
is.
just, we get so caught up in buying. And I'm not saying this about you, William. Like, it's just, we get so caught up in buying the next thing that we think is going to make us better. And most of the time, what I'm saying, we probably already have what we need to accomplish a certain sound or whatever most of the time. But yeah, that's crazy, man. I know that feeling, bro. It's definitely frustrating. But one of your goals could be to make sure your equipment is paid off before you get something else, or make sure your equipment pays for itself.
Yeah.
That was a goal that I made, where I said, I had my touch, right? I literally bought my touch with my last $400. I got it from Amazon Marketplace. You know what I mean? It didn't
Mm-hmm.
work right. And I had to send it in to Akai for 6 weeks before I even got to use it. But I said, I'm not buying any more gear out of my pocket. The only gear I'm buying from here on out is going to have to be paid for from the YouTube channel. And yo,
Yeah.
I locked in. I locked in for like,
Mm-hmm.
2 years. It took me 2 years probably, to get my channel monetized and for it to start making enough to start upgrading gear. And now my channel pays for vinyl, there's a good chance it's in TrackLib's library. And that means if you do put it out, like if the song does get published by even an independent artist, you might be able to get it cleared through TrackLib. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. I don't think samples are something to worry yourself about. Not until I just don't think there's a time to really worry about it. Even the producers you see getting sued, they're not worried about it. They're like,
Yeah.
that sucks. Yeah, that would have been a bigger check. Yeah, they took my publishing. Oh well, on to the next record.
Another thing that does too is like if your track gets out there and stuff like that, who cares about the money at that point? Mostly because now you got the exposure to build upon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some people don't even look at that. Like, like a lot of people just be looking for a foot into the industry. If you get that foot in there, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter if that track was sampled or not. Now you got that foot, you know what I'm saying? And the more money's gonna come from that,
Right.
So if you take a hit on one record, don't mean that you're gonna take a hit on the next 10 that you're gonna do, because now that song is like so crazy that now people want to work with you. You start getting those calls, like Sight was talking about earlier.
That's and he followed up. He said, "I have 3 million views on my beat and can't get any money for it. It's playing ads and everything, but revenue is going to Warner Brothers." Yeah, and that's the downside, right? So, like, if you're using somebody else's work, they're gonna take the money.
Yeah,
but at the same time, you got 3 million views. Yeah, and again,
3 million views is dope.
You'll know next time you want to put a beat out, you'll do it with something that's cleared or royalty free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But 3 million views is exposure and can lead to more opportunity. So it's not a loss. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's definitely not a loss, man.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to get the money you would have had if it was original, but you shouldn't, you know what I mean, if it's somebody else's work.
Because you want to go off the power of tens anyway. If you're talking about, they use this stuff in business all the time. Like you want to think like if you got your stuff in front of like 3 million people, that 10% of those people are gonna follow up with you. So that's still like 300,000 people. You know what I'm saying? So if you drop some stuff, it still might be on the lower end. It might be 4 to 6%. You know what I'm saying? But even that, you're talking about 10% is 300,000. 4 to 6% of that is still a lot of exposure that you can get. Now, if you had a beat out there that was cleared and stuff like that, like 300,000 views and stuff is still a nice little, you can start building on that. That's what I'm saying. Like don't always look at everything as like I didn't make the most amount of money on it, because some of the videos that like people make, like even on YouTube, are just strategies for other stuff. Like I might do a video on a review for an audio unit, and that might be for, what I'm saying, like affiliate marketing or trying to, do that stuff. But I might just launch a video that is trying to target like a email list or something like that. That doesn't have nothing to do with me making money right away, but building stuff like that is what's going to help you get more money long term. Stuff like building like an email list, things like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, use that, build upon that, man. Don't look at that as a loss. That's to me, that's a major win.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
and shout out to the homie Kirk State. He dropped in. He said, "Big studios not needed anymore. Dudes out here making millions off FL and a few plugins." That's true, but I was bringing up big studios before as a networking opportunity, and just because they're not needed anymore doesn't mean people don't use them. You know what I'm saying? So studios in Atlanta are still booked. People still come from out of town and book up studios out here, because it's not that they're
it's the image.
It's the image, right?
It's the image. Like
it's the image the artist wants, and it's the image the producers want. So working producers in Atlanta, think about it this way. If you're a producer and you live in Atlanta and you're up and coming, and some artists are coming, some artists coming from out of town, let's say they're like Dope Boys from wherever, you know what I'm saying? They could be from Memphis or something, right? And they got 10 racks and they come into town and they want to spend 10 racks in the studio. They want to buy beats. They want to do their man's whole album. Do you think the producer who has his own lab that he's renting out, you know what I'm saying, and and charging $40 an hour for, it has a better chance of impressing them, or the artist that's like in their bedroom, you know what I'm saying, like in their mom's crib, or working out of their apartment. Yeah, there's a chance, you know what I'm saying, but honestly, working producers still work out of studios. Not like big ones, but well, no, I don't want to say that. A lot of the placements you see, bro, like I know engineers in Atlanta and they're still working out of big studios. They're
Yep.
still working out of $1 million studios that booked every week. Um, it's not what's needed. It's what the industry is still using it. There's always going to be a place for professional spaces. Like that's like saying, yo, you don't need a nightclub because you can have a party in your living room.
That's right.
It's
It's the image, man, and like a lot of that stuff too. Like especially for artists, like that stuff counts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Um, because a lot of stuff with like music and stuff, especially with hip hop and stuff like that, is a lot of boasting. So I got all this money. I'm in the best studios. I'm popping bottles in the studio and stuff like that. So like most of the time when they're doing sessions and stuff like that, where you see them in big studios, that's the image, you know what I'm saying, across that, hey, this is the stuff that we're doing. So you they always have crews around that's taking pictures, that's catching the visual of the stuff. They're always getting, and that's important for artists too. Not so much important for producers, but for like artists, like to show that that they're like their image, like they have to show this image. So they're always
No, it's
catching
important.
visual.
It's important. It's important for everybody. Going back to the success formula: talent, image, exposure.
Yeah, well,
Each,
let me take it back then.
yeah, no, image sometimes matters more than the talent. You know what I'm saying? Because if you get exposure, right? Say that you get that huge chunk of exposure. I tell people look at the shows that are on TV, like America's Idol or whatever, American Idol. They start off raw talent, image trash. Like these people's image be straight trash, right? So what do? They bring them onto a big stage, give them tons of exposure. They improve their talent. They give them vocal coaches, and they improve their image. They dress them up. They make them look professional. You know what I mean? So talent and image do matter. But if you dress somebody up and you gave them vocal lessons and you never put them on the big stage in front of millions of people, they would never be, you know what I'm saying? That the success level would not be anywhere near the same. So
Yeah.
the exposure is the most important part. You know what I mean? Because if you crush a show and you look like a bum, most people are going to be able to overlook the fact that you look like a bum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That means the image matters, but it doesn't matter more if you're talented and you crush it and you have exposure. The image doesn't matter. And if
Yeah.
your image looks great and you know what I'm saying, and your exposure is great, your talent doesn't always matter. That's why the people who are the biggest artists right now are not the most talented people. Not all of them. There are some who are super talented, like your Adeles, your those type of people who are
That's
just
my
like
baby
phenomenal
too.
talents. Yeah. But I mean, there's plenty of people who are not that talented, but their exposure level is crazy. And their image gets improved. You know what I mean? Some people's image isn't that great when they first come out. Look at any artist you like when you first saw him. Look at Ghostface Killah in the first Wu-Tang videos. He's got like he's got a mask on, you know what I'm saying? He's just rugged, you know what I'm saying? Like wearing a Carhartt jacket. And
Yeah.
you look at him at, his second album, he's got a gold eagle bracelet, a Wonder Woman bracelet and huge chains. The image upgrades over time. The talent has to be there from the beginning, at least some type of talent, and the exposure getting exposed everywhere. So I know I'm beating a dead horse with that, man. But yeah, I just wanted to address that, man. It's not necessarily what's needed. It's about going where people are actually where people are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. That's why people sell oranges on the side of the highway. Like there's a lot of people coming to the highway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you go wherever the traffic is. And if you can't do it physically, then you have to do it online. You have to find out where these artists are going online. You have to, chop it up with them, whether it's, different
Yeah.
social media platforms. You just have to find where they go, where they like to go. And um, another goal, right? And this is a huge goal I got from a music book, probably like 15 years ago, talking about actually listing your ideal customer, right? So if you're a producer, listing out, they call it profiling, coming up with a profile for the type of artist you want to work with, and getting as detailed as like what type of clothes do they wear, what type of shoes do they wear, what type of jeans would they buy, what type of hats are they into, where do they shop, um, what do they drink, do they smoke anything, what type of stuff do they, what I mean? It seems childish, like it seems like who really cares. But when you look at those are the lifestyle similarities of the clients that you want. And when you profile the type of client that you want and you really get into detail on what they're into, it gives you so many ideas on how to market to them. Because, into like, um, if you're into like, let's say, is trap artists, right? They're rocking Balenciagas. All right, so if there's only one mall with a Balenciaga store in your entire city, you should probably go kick it at that mall because all the trap dudes are going to be going to the Balenciaga store. You know what I'm saying? It's a silly example, but it's just it's facts. It's like really profiling what type of places do the artists you want to work with, where do they go, and then just go there and have something to show them. You know what I mean? And that's going to increase your chances. And that's what I was saying about the studio. A lot of artists who have a budget, who come from out of town, they have big, they got stars in their eyes, they got dreams. They come to Atlanta and they go to these studios and they pay $100 an hour and they pay, $50, $100 an hour to record in these studios because it looks great on the gram for everybody back in a small town where they from. You know what I mean? It's good content. It helps them build their brand. And then that's also where other working artists are. So then that's where you connect with other people who are putting their money where their mouth is. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. And I seen somebody use I think it was Jorge use like Soldier Boy or something as a like, he got on by Crack Fruity Loops and all that stuff. But yeah, like I think Soldier Boy is from Mississippi too, but he eventually still went to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And did a lot of stuff in Atlanta. And he was going to Memphis. I think he was going to Memphis too, like studios in Memphis and stuff like that. So he wasn't just solely working from like where he was. And once he got like that exposure and stuff like that, he ended up relocating. That's just the name of the game. It's gonna
it's not really an accurate story. It's not like you just use a crack version of FL and you blow up. No, he was working with like Mr. Collar Park, who was already hot at the time. He was producing like Yin Yang Twins, and he had a whole like string of hits. And he walked Soldier Boy into like labels. He had some kind of situation with Mr. Collar Park. So it's not like Soldier Boy just took off on his own, completely independent.
Yeah,
like,
it's everybody. Nobody sees like the behind the scenes work. They just see like Soldier Boy, Crack. You know what I'm saying? But like what stuff is going on in the background that people are not seeing?
Yeah,
there's
those
a lot
Soldier
of
Boy
networking.
records was mixed on $500,000 SSL boards. It's not like it went straight from FL to the big leagues. Like, I'm not saying every record's like that, you know what I mean? But at that time, like it, if a record makes it really big, it usually gets remixed. I think Bolo was talking about this before. He has, I think he said, "Watch Me Whip, Watch Me Nay Nay," the joint he did with Salento.
Yeah,
I think he said he mixed that in his crib, and the version everybody hears, but that's like a viral, that's like a new age type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times before a record gets that big, it's usually intercepted by a label and mixed properly. But yeah, I mean, there's ways. But again, Barlow's not using crack versions of FL. Like, no, that man invests in his craft. He has real
and
equipment.
he knows what he's doing too.
And he knows what he's doing.
It's not like he just picked up FL Studio and like just somehow magically made a song and then released it. Like you have to know how to mix and stuff somewhat, even though he doesn't mix his beats and shit.
It's getting real spicy in here. Mega House TV. And shout out to Mega House, man. That's my dude. Some people agree to attend them weird Hollywood parties, and that's how they blow up. I think that's how DJ Mustard blew up, because his beats are hot. dumpster juice on 100 Yeah, I mean, nah, bro. I think Mustard was already
Mustard
doing he was doing a lot of work with a lot of people, from what I
Mustard
understand.
is a beast. I watched
Yeah,
I watched an interview on Mustard. Mustard used to like literally go to studios and like get plugged in with artists, and he would give them like 100 beats, like a hundred.
yeah.
Like this dude was making like 100 beats a day, like 100 beats a day.
I mean, yeah, they're not, you know,
They
they're
all of
not
them, man.
classical music. Like they're not.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like when you putting out that kind of volume, though, like you bound to like you're bound for some shit to hit, bro.
Yeah,
Like
and
he
now
dropping,
Mustard got a few joints though. Like
yeah,
Mustard got some. When I remember 2013 when I got here to Atlanta,
dude.
Mustard was killing them, bro. Like Mustard on the beat, yo, everything went off that
Everything
had
was
that
Mustard
tag.
on the beat, yeah.
And
But I was saying, go ahead, bro. My bad.
yeah, it's not the beat. The beat is not like for you to spit crazy bars to, but it's for what you see in those clubs. I remember what I was saying in the clubs was like, oh, that's what that record's supposed to do. Like
Yeah,
that's what that sound is for. That's why that beat sounds so simple.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I mean, he was just going off, man.
dude. When I hit Mustard, like I said, and that's why I'm telling people, like, and this is the whole thing that we're iterating. It's like consistency and volume and like putting out, just getting your stuff out there. Like so many people are like so caught up on like how stuff sounds. It's got to sound perfect. All this stuff. I got to have all this gear stuff or whatever. I got to be around to just get your stuff out there, man. This dude was dropping off 100 beats. They all of them, 95% of them probably could have been hot trash, as my man said. But the 5% that wasn't is the ones that got him where he is. You know what I'm saying? Or got him on
Yeah.
at that time. You know what I'm saying?
That's facts.
He
And it comes down to goals too. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Are you making music to stay true to yourself and where you come from? You know, because I made a post on Facebook a couple weeks back. It said, "Hi, I'm Sight. I'm 41 and I have no interest in making music for teenagers, and that's okay." And it had like 270 likes. It's my most engaged post I've ever made, and I think I made it as like a joke, you know what I'm saying? Like to be lighthearted about it, because I think a lot of us get caught up in trying to compete with stuff that we really don't want. I don't
Yeah.
want to make beats for teenagers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when I say that, I'm not saying that to insult anybody. I'm saying that like the music I love and I appreciate is being made by people who are my age. That's the
Yeah.
music that I like. I like Griselda. I like the News Nas album. I like, you know what I'm saying? What else am I listening to these days? I mean, that's most of it. I've been listening to Nas album, real crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, and I go back and listen to stuff I grew up on. You know what I mean? I'm me personally, I'm not interested in making music that's relevant for 17-year-olds right now. That's just not, I don't care for that. You
Yeah.
might care for that, you know what I mean? And that's why I think, you know, guys like Bolo are so dope because, you know what I'm saying, he's probably around my age, you know what I mean, in his 30s, maybe I'm 41. So I think he's around my age, but he's still making records with like teenagers that are blowing up the charts.
Yeah.
That's dope. That feels good to him. That's the type of music he likes to make. Like, you know, there's no wrong way to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of unhappiness comes from trying to compete with people. And I talked to Lift the Noise about this before too. Like it was something I said to him. I was like, comparison is the thief of joy. Like when you compare yourself to other people and their journey and what they're trying to accomplish, and you compare what you're trying to do to what they're doing and what they have done, it robs you of your joy because you're comparing yourself to some you don't even know their whole story. You don't know they might deserve it more than anybody. You know what I mean? Like there's people that are like producers that you be like, man, those beats are really trash. But you find out like, yo, like he lost like 3 of his siblings and 2 of his best friends in the streets. And you know what I'm saying? Like the story is so crazy. And it might have nothing to do with the quality of the music, but
Yeah.
people don't always get in position because of how good they are. Sometimes it's just it's time for them to win. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it's time for them to win on some level, and you can't compare yourself to that because you wouldn't want everything that comes with it. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't want the karma of like all your, you know, having all these friends that died and siblings who died and all this loss in your life. You're comparing yourself who has a healthy family, and yeah, you don't have a platinum plaque, but you wouldn't trade all that other stuff that's in their life. So you can't just focus in on one thing that somebody's got going for them,
Yeah.
and try to compare, because
I don't.
everybody's experience is way different.
Yeah, and you should never compare yourself to. I don't think to anybody, but I don't think it's if you're gonna do stuff like that, you need to use it as like a metric. So a lot of people growing up, a lot of basketball people like LeBron and Kobe, they wanted to be like Mike, but they didn't. Because they didn't achieve everything that Mike did, they're not depressed about it, but they use that as a metric to work and be better at their craft. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So if you're gonna do stuff like that with like, with people that you look up to and stuff, use them as a metric, not like comparing yourself to them. Use them as a metric of the stuff that you want to try to hit, and use it in a motivating way to get you where you need to be. Because sometimes studying like people who've done some shit that you've never done is what's can help you get to that new level. Because you know what I'm saying, most of the time, like people take their own path to get places, but like in the grand scheme of things, like most of it is kind of like the same of how it flows. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So if you can, basically like finding the cheat codes. If you can figure out the cheat codes, then you can get there.
Yeah, comparison is good when you're trying to compare, like maybe your mix to Dr. Dre's mix, right? Like, oh,
Hmm.
let me try to get as close as possible. Um, if there's a sound that you like, comparison is good. You know what I'm saying? As
Yeah,
far as like trying to get your sound to that, that's a
yeah.
little different. That's like improving your art. You know what I'm saying? And then
Hmm.
eventually you won't want to compare it anymore, because you're like, okay, I know how to get that sound, but I'm not really into that right now. I'm into this. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
um there's times when comparison is good as far as like stepping your skills up, but as far as as PBB Beats said, comparing is bad for the psyche. Like you don't want to
Yeah.
compare your experience to somebody else's experience, and don't compare your success to someone else's success. So like kind of bringing it all home, the whole producer goals thing, you know your goals are always going to change. They're going to
Right.
change daily. They're going to change weekly. They're going to change monthly, yearly. They're going to change depending on if you had a bad day or a good day. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
They can, you know what I mean? They can change. Not saying they always should. The goal really is to come up with as many goals that you feel you want to reach. They're just milestones. They're
Hmm.
just they're just plots on the map. They're just points on the map you want to get to.
Yeah.
So start writing down destinations that you want to get to. You know what I'm saying? Like I want I have this in front of me at all times. This is my this is
That's
my
your
vision
vision.
board.
Your vision board.
Yeah. This is, let me see if I can zoom in on it real quick.
Oh,
Uh,
you zoomed out.
My bad. I took myself out.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the stuff that I look forward to all the time. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna bore y'all to death with it, but I look at this every time I walk in my lab. This is the type of gear, this is the type of camera gear I want over here. This is the type of music gear I want over here. This is the type of vehicle I want for my channel eventually. The pedal board, music related equipment and stuff over here, channel growth, wrong side. So this is kind of like my little loose roadmap to what I want for myself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not telling everybody to do it the same way, but have some type of visualization for what you want for your career. You know what I'm saying? What you want for your creative goals, and don't forget to don't leave out family and
Yeah.
what you want on your personal life too. You know what I mean? Like that's my business vision board, but I have another one for my personal and family life. You know what I mean? What I want in my marriage, in my relationship with my kids,
Yeah.
the relationship I have with my community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those things all add up to, that's where happiness comes from. You know what I'm saying? From getting closer to the visualized, where you see yourself. You know what I mean? Where you want to see yourself. And when you're not clear on where you want to see yourself, it makes it really hard to be happy, because your goals always changing. You're blowing in the wind. Like one day you might, oh, I want to look fly like this, or one day, oh, I want this, I want that.
Yeah.
Nah, if you lock in on your goals, you document them, you're gonna enjoy your producer journey, your creative journey, and your life journey a lot more because you have goals that even if they're not attainable, even if you're just on the path to it, you might find happiness halfway there. Like somebody might be like, yo, I want $1 million and get to 500,000 and be like, yo, I'm good. I'm really happy with $500,000 or $100,000. You know what I mean? So, I say all that to say, get to the point where you're at least documenting your goals, and try to define your destination as clearly as you can. Like where you see yourself, the picture of yourself that you see in 5 years, maybe
Yeah.
try to define it as clearly as possible and then start making up points on the map on how to get there. And I think, what I mean, as far as me, that's kept me out of depression for years. Like I rarely get to a point where I feel like I'm getting depressed. It does happen now, but it's usually when I'm looking at what I want. It's more of a frustration. I get frustrated because I'm like, yo, I know I want this exact thing, and this I'm not able to get this done. It's usually for me is the opportunities aren't coming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's where I get frustrated. You know what I mean? That's where I might get close to depression because it's like, yo, I know I need to do this and this and this, but I can't even get the time to do it. That's understandable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's where you need to give yourself a break sometimes. But you know how it is. Oh,
Yeah, I do, bro.
I'll give myself breaks. So.
Yeah, man. I give myself breaks, but sometimes I give myself a break for too long. So I'm like kind of like the opposite. Like I just, but we're all working. That's the reason why we're doing this stuff. We gotta, and it's good that me and Sight are friends. That's another thing. It's like having good accountability partners, because Sight will get on my head if I'm not doing nothing, and vice versa. We like encourage each other. And the same thing with Lifting Noise and everybody else that we have contact with. We try to keep each other like, what I'm saying, encouraged and accountable. What I'm saying? I think that stuff is important too, somewhat.
And that comes with community because
Yep.
as much as we try to be one man bands and one man armies, it's not possible. You know what I mean? There's gonna be those times where you're just like, yo, the homie Trips, no, like, yo, I was dumping on Trips last night, like, yo, man, I'm going through it, bro. Like, I know he'd be like, yo, you whiny son of a. But nah, I mean, yo, Trips, Trips show a lot of love, man. You know what I'm saying? And just having those people that can relate, you know what I'm saying? On your journey and kind of getting involved. And I met Trips through NPC Gang and through the channel. I met you, through Matthew Stratton's video.
Yeah.
Shout out to Matthew Stratton, and that's the NPC community. So, like I said, coming full circle, try to get yourself involved in a community that's doing. People are like, yo, go to church if you want this and that, right? Because church is a community. Go to a community that's doing what you want to be doing or involved in the things you want to be involved in, and just start linking up with those people. And yeah, you're gonna run into some snakes, yo. It's like you can't avoid it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna run into some people that are jealous. You're gonna run into some people that are haters, but you're gonna run into some good people too. And that's the people you focus on. And those are the people you're able to build with. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Kurt State said that you must have ate your Wheaties this morning, bro.
I had the my mother-in-law made the grits this morning, man. You know what I mean? Southern grits they stick to the ribs.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think we should.
Let's wrap it up. It's been 2 hours, bro. My kids are out trick-or-treating.
I know. This is a good 2 hours though. It's crazy. It was a great conversation. We're gonna get into this stuff, you know what I'm saying? So,
and we probably got off topic a few times, man. But shout out to everybody who's just locked in with us and was contributing to the conversation. I know we couldn't get to all of y'all, but we appreciate y'all tuning in every week. If you can, before we sign off, man, if you can hit that like button, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, it's great for the algorithm. It helps us, get more exposure, and help the message get out to more people. So, thanks to everybody once again for tuning in. You have anything else to say, before we sign off?
Yeah, man. Like, if you guys want to support us, if you guys want to help, you guys know that I Am Sight has a standalone soul. If you guys are interested in getting like some, sample free, clearance stuff,
royalty free, unless you blow up, man. Give me 15%, please.
No, but he's got that out. Lifted Noise got some merch. Shout out to the brother Lifted Noise. You know, all this stuff will be in the description for you guys. You know, we all have our own individual channels. So if you guys are familiar with one of us and not, you know, go subscribe to our channels. You know what I'm saying, and see what we got cracking over there. But all in all, I think this was a great message and a great topic to talk about, because you know, setting goals is important, and the only way that you can get to where you want to be in life is to set your goals and follow through with them. You know, you got to have
Facts.
dreams, man. You know, if you don't have dreams, then you know what you doing, bro.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a recurring theme. So I'm sure we'll be talking about goals with different different guests and stuff like that. We got some really cool guests coming up talking about sound design, talking about, platinum plaques and accomplishment, major label accomplishment coming up in the next, couple weeks. So keep locking in with us, man. We're gonna keep trying to bring y'all value. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And we